Hey everybody, welcome back to my coverage of the PogChamps 3 tournament. This is the Consolation Semifinals match, Pokimane versus Michelle Khare. And Michelle, she did win that first game. If you missed it, check it up in the info card and then come back and watch this video. But yes, Pokimane, she was the favorite to win this match, but she blundered in the first game and Michelle took it. Can she bring us to a tiebreaker with this game? She's going to have to do it with the black pieces, but let's just see how the game went. We have d4 and e6 from Pokimane. Bishop f4, Michelle going for that London system, and d5 from Pokimane, transposing to a more traditional queen's pawn game. We have e3 now continuing that London system setup, and knight to f6, bishop d3, bishop d6, and now bishop to g3, backing up that bishop so you don't ruin your pawn structure if black decides to take. We have castles, and now knight to f3, and c5 from black, and we saw the same idea in game 1 of this match when Michelle was black and Pokimane played the London system, where Michelle pushed c5 and contested the center. Now Pokimane doing the same idea against Michelle, so this is a very strong idea for black, and good job for Pokimane for doing this. Both players playing a very good opening so far, so congratulations for them congratulations to them for that too. We have castles by Michelle and c takes d4, knight takes d4, and knight to c6, continuing development. We have c3 now, and bishop takes g3, h takes g3, and I think this trade is beneficial for black because later in the game, this g4 square could be really nice for black's knight. This is really a common theme in the London system, where you trade this bishop on g3, and then your knight comes to g4, and your queen could come to the king side and get some attack going, and it's hard to kick this knight away because if you ever play f3 as white, then the e-pawn will drop. So definitely a beneficial trade for black. We have e5 now, and knight takes c6, and yeah, I mean, it's tricky here. You do give black a really big center with this trade, b takes c6, so Pokimane does have a very nice center. I think she definitely has the advantage in this position, but it's not winning for Pokimane yet. It's not losing for Michelle yet, but let's just see how the game continues. We have queen b3 developing that queen, and now e4 kicking that bishop, bishop to e2, and bishop g4. We have rook to e1, and here as black, you definitely want to trade off this bishop because you have your pawns on light squares, so your bishop is much less effective as a piece, so you definitely want to trade that off. Likewise, white's bishop is really good. Most of white's pawns are on dark squares, so if you can get rid of that bishop, then white might have trouble defending their light squares later on in the game. So Pokimane does go for this trade, bishop takes e2, rook takes e2, and now we have knight g4, this knight g4 idea that I was talking about earlier. And to kick this knight away, you have to play f3, and the queen is coming to the king side. There could be some attack going. So here, f3 might even be your best bet as white, which Michelle plays f3, but this is just really weakening to your king side, and you know, white is not even finished with development. So this is definitely a great position overall for black. Not moving this knight immediately, though, we have rook to b8, counter-attacking the queen, and queen to a3 by Michelle. E takes f3 now, and g takes f3, and now the king is really exposed. But now you also have to move this knight, and you've at least broken up black's center a little bit as white. But this king will still be very hard to defend. We have knight to e5 by Pokimane, and f4. Hitting this knight again, but also exposing your king more. You make this e-pawn backwards, which could be a target later on. So just very tricky to play this position as white. And Pokimane played extremely accurately. I mean, I don't think Pokimane really made any huge or even minor mistakes in the opening. So really great job to Pokimane. I mean, and by the opening, I mean up until this point. I really don't think Pokimane's made any mistakes or even small inaccuracies up until this point. She's just been playing fantastically. And Michelle hasn't really made any big mistakes either. It's just Pokimane has just been playing so well in this game. So let's see how the game continues, and can Pokimane now convert this advantage that she has. We have knight to c4 and queen takes a7. So you were going to lose this pawn. You were going to lose this pawn because your knight was attacked. We have rook to e8 now, getting that rook on a half-open file and pressuring this e-pawn. Here you could have gone for rook takes b2, but rook to e8 is a fine move as well. We have knight to a3 from Pokimane, and b3 definitely would have been better, saving this b-pawn, because now after knight to a3, you do hang this b-pawn, and black here can take it with their knight, which Pokimane does. She does play knight takes b2, and now we have rook to b1. It's not a pin, but maybe you could get something. If the queen moves away, then this knight would be pinned. So I think rook to b1 is a good move. Here, as black, one move you can play is rook to a8, and after queen to d4, this is kind of how you can untie this pin as black. Now you can play rook to e4, and after queen to d2, you can now save your knight with knight to a4. Or you could trade your knight for this a3 knight. I think that is also possible. I don't see anything wrong with that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you could also go for that trade, but that's just one way you can sort of untie this pin here as black. But we have knight to c4 instead by Pokimane, and this is a huge blunder. This allows black to basically trade everything off and go into a winning endgame. So that starts with rook takes b8, queen takes b8, queen takes b8, rook takes b8, knight takes c4, and d takes c4. And all of a sudden, white is back in this game because white's actually winning this game because they have this outside a pawn, and their pawns are more advanced, and black has this doubled pawn weakness. So white is definitely winning here, and basically by trading all of these pieces, you're making your king safety no longer a liability. If you can trade all the pieces and go into an endgame, then it doesn't matter that all of your pawns are pushed in front of your king, because your opponent will not have enough pieces to take advantage of that. So Michelle definitely could have gone for this trade, but instead she plays knight takes c4, which is the wrong move order because now this allows rook takes b1, and this is check, so this just hangs a rook as Michelle. And after a move like king g2, we could see d takes c4, and black is just up a rook, so Pokimane could hopefully win this very easily. But instead of rook takes b1, we have d takes c4, and once again, this gives Michelle the opportunity to remove this king weakness liability by trading a pair of rooks and the queens on b8. But instead, we have rook e to b2, and now black can play something like rook a to b8, just rook b to rook a8, and try to keep some more pieces on the board. But instead, we have rook takes b2 and rook takes b2, and here is black. You gotta play a move like h6, just giving your king some space and removing this back rank weakness so that you can get your queen and rook into the game. But instead, we have queen e7, now pressuring this e3 pawn. I think maybe you could have even taken this pawn if oh wait, no, you can't because rook b8 is yeah, if you take this pawn, then there's rook b8. So you cannot take the e3 pawn here as black. You just got to play a move like h6. But Pokimane does not play this. She instead plays queen e7. Maybe she was worried about this rook b8 threat, and this simply hangs a queen because the rook is overworked. It's defending the queen and also defending back rank. So after queen takes e7, rook takes e7, rook b8, this will be checkmate. Rook e8 and rook takes e8. So will Michelle see this, or will she go for something else? Well, Michelle does see this. She plays queen takes e7, and after rook takes e7, she goes for rook b8. I mean, here is Pokimane. Even if you see that you're getting checkmated, you have to take this queen, and you just have to hope that Michelle doesn't see this back rank weakness, because if you don't take the queen here, then you're just down a queen, and you're going to eventually lose anyway. So you have to take the queen here and just hope Michelle that doesn't see this back rank checkmate. But Michelle did see this. She played rook b8 check, and after rook to e8, rook takes e8, and this is checkmate. So Michelle taking the second game, winning the match in a bit of an upset. A lot of people thought Pokimane was going to win the consolation bracket, but she's eliminated in the semifinals, not even on a tiebreaker game. So Michelle will be advancing to the consolation finals, and she will be playing the winner of Tubbo versus Nico. So whoever wins that match will win. And here are those standings for you. Those are not the correct standings. Let me get the correct standings. Here are those standings for you. Right there, okay. So here are the standings, and yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Pokimane, she played really well this tournament. Michelle surprising everybody and taking this win from Pokimane. So we'll see how she does in the finals. And I hope Pokimane keeps playing chess. She is a good player and a great personality at that too. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about this game or this match. So thank you for watching, and stay awesome, stay liked, stay subscribed. Check out my PogChamps 3 playlist up there, and check out another chess video over there. I'll see you next time.